In our last two episodes, we were having a look at the two Turtles beat-em-up games released on the NES. Both games were an attempt by Nintendo to capitalize on the success of the arcade game released in arcades around the globe in 1989. And I must say, both games kinda delivered. However, if the last two episodes proved anything, it is that there was simply no way the hardware could deliver that true arcade experience. Around 1991, a direct sequel to the arcade game was released, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Turtles in Time. Coincidentally, Nintendo has just released its new console, which was more than capable of running a decent home version of the arcade game. I'm Dr. Sledgehammer, by the way, and I'm excited to finally try out Turtles in Time with my brother Thomas.
I'm hungry.
What do you mean you're hungry? I mean, we ate like 2 hours ago.
I'm still hungry and I'm off to money.
Well, sucks to be you then. But I tell you what, let's finish the game and I take you out for some donut kebab, huh? What do you say?
Alright.
The menu has improved tremendously. You have your 1 and 2 player modes, and we finally have an options menu. Here you can pick the difficulty, although let's face it, every true gamer would pick hard here. Then you can select the button settings for your controllers, and we can increase the number of lives, which we're gonna do right here. Next up you have the Beat the Clock minigame, in which you have to eliminate a horde of foot soldiers within 30 seconds. And finally you have Versus mode, where you can duke it out with the second player. I challenge you to a fight to the death. For the last cookie. The story is, as in the previous 3 games, really stupid, so you won't feel bad when I spoil some of the plot for ya. April is once again on TV reporting on some random event when suddenly Krang appears in a giant robot body to steal the Statue of Liberty, and the Shredder once again for the 4th goddamn time challenges the Turtles over the television. So once again the Turtles fight their way through the streets of New York to get to the Technodrome. But why though? Why would the Shredder go through all this trouble to capture the Statue of Liberty? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's nice to look at the statue, but the city doesn't really need it to function.
Maybe he broke up with April.
One thing we have to say is that the game is a huge step up in both graphics and combat. I have never seen a beaten up that has such a huge variety of attacks despite only using the D-pad and 2 buttons. You can finally do combos that stun lock your opponents. You can also interrupt these combos by clicking back on the D-pad to perform a sidekick that blasts away everyone in front of you. And listen to this, you have 4 different types of jump kicks, each triggered depending on how high you jump before you push the attack button, and each with a different function during combat. You can kick upwards, you can do your regular fast sharp piercing kick downwards, you can kick opponents across the screen, and when you press attack at the maximal height of your jump you can perform anti-air attacks. You can also bomb rush your opponents if you have enough runway, and you can perform 2 different throw attacks on your opponents. And finally you have your special attack from the last game that you can activate to do massive damage to your opponents. However, make sure it counts, because once it hits its mark you're gonna lose a huge chunk of your health bar. I generally avoid using it, making it a useless attack for me. This gets me to the next topic. We have an actual damage system here. In the last 2 games you took 1 hit, you lose 1 HP. Here I get punched in the face, I lose 1 HP. But if I get fucking super kicked to the back of the head, I get wrecked. The same goes for if I receive the giant axe to the fucking skull, or if I get stumped by a bunch of dinosaurs. It can become problematic when enemies swarm you, as they can attack you simultaneously. Here they can put a finger up your butthole and punch you in the face at the same time. Hey, what's wrong with you? They're beating the piss out of you!
Sorry, can't play without food.
As it was in the previous 2 games, there is a huge variety of enemies, ranging from all sorts of robotic abominations coming after you to foot soldiers who come in different colors wielding different weapons. The ones that annoy us the most are the pink ones right there. These fuckers will stand there and block everything you throw at them. In the 4th boss fight you fight the Shredder, who uses a mecha suit. During the boss fight you are swarmed by a bunch of these pink fuckers. You have to kinda break their defense and throw them at the Shredder in order to break the mecha suit. They are a real pain in the butt, especially when you're playing solo. Finish him!
Krang, help me.
And once you beat the Shredder, you're thrown into a time portal and you have to fight your way across a couple of stages in order to return to the present day. This part of the game feels kinda like a cheap gimmick, as you spend 4 out of 9 stages in the present day going after the Shredder before you finally travel in time. And when you do travel in time, you only get the most cliché stuff like a prehistoric dinosaurs era, pirates, the Wild West, and the future. Speaking of the future, this is 2020, everything is neon and shit, and we get to travel on our very own hoverboards. This begs the question, we already have 2021. Where is my damn hoverboard? I mean, this is obviously a reference to Back to the Future, but come on, stop making false promises to us.
Speaking of false promises.
Yes, we're almost done. I also feel like the developers missed lots of opportunities to optimize the enemies according to each time period. Story-wise, this game is a bit of a disappointment, but luckily, telling a story is not the main purpose of the game. We are here to smash some shit. Besides, there are a lot of amazing things happening here that were a little bit lacking in the other games. For example, I really like how Krang has a much larger role in this game, as he's constantly coming after us. You actually have to go through 2 boss fights until you finally get rid of him. Another thing I really like is how both you and your enemies can take damage from things happening in your environment. For example, that ship over there shooting cannonballs, I can lure my opponents to the spot of impact and get rid of them. Bosses in the game finally have a goddamn health bar, which has been a long time coming. Most of the bosses are the same as in the previous 2 games, however they did introduce the Rat King, which is pretty cool. And then you have these guys again.
Your butt that's about to be kicked!
Tokka and Rahzar were the replacement for Bebop and Rocksteady in the second Turtles movie that was released in 1991. So basically they appeared in 2 video games within 1 year of the movie's release. Just how hard did they try to push these 2?
You're stupid!
Well, they're not stupid, they're infants! Okay, they're stupid infants.
Most of the boss fights in the game felt rather easy when compared to the previous game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 The Manhattan Project, except for Slash, who is a real tank that can become almost impervious to damage and he hits like a truck. And of course the Super Shredder. The Super Shredder is pretty tough, he has freezing attacks, fire attacks, and he can transform you back to a small baby turtle, which is his instant kill shot. He pretty much spams these 3 attacks throughout the fight. He's pretty hard and we died a lot fighting him, however, the rest of the game felt so easy and we were able to conserve so many lives and continues that we managed to kill him without breaking a sweat. Died right in front of his new girlfriend. Anyway, let's talk verdict. I'm finally feeling the arcade vibes when I'm playing the game. It has really good graphics, really good music. The beat 'em up system is one of the most diverse I've ever seen in a 2D beat 'em up. I mean, after every playthrough, you're gonna know how to use the button combinations a little bit better, making each playthrough a little bit more fun. The game gets a 9 out of 10 from me. It is one of the most complete beat-em-ups I have ever seen. If I have something negative to say about the game, it is once again that the story is kinda stupid and we only have like 3 stages where we went back in time, which kinda sucks. Well, now if you excuse me. Yo, Thomas, what you doing?
Oh, nothing.
I need to take a shit.
Yeah.
Hey, no, come on, man. You serious? Come on, stop playing around, Thomas. You gotta let me out of here, Thomas. I promised you some dinner, Kevin, but we're gonna get it. It's really tasty. It's worth more than anything you find out there. Come on. You can't be doing this. This isn't happening. This isn't happening. Oh, come on!
honor of a totally special day. You see, today just happens to be my... Thanks, Michelangelo. Great chow.
Well, this sucked.